Well, I've got a general warm up that every client does when they come. So they come 5 to 10 minutes earlier, they get changed, they warm themselves. That's a general warm up for everyone. So they do something, they get move, get to move, activate their muscles, everything else, and then when it's time, they're warm. I do a specific warm up for their kind of problem, whatever there is, and then we go to training. So meaning they're already like warmed up before we start, so we can get faster. We got more time in the hour we have. That's the first thing. Second thing to optimize is choosing the weight they will take in advance. I've got my programmings here with each client. I know what they did the last session. I know what they should do today. So I put the weight in there. So everything is like fluid. They warm up, okay, first round, that weight, 30 kilo. Then we go to 32.5, then 35. And so everything is planned to be the most efficient possible in 1 hour. 1 hour goes very fast, actually. So every pauses are planned, weight is planned, their general warm-up is planned, everything is planned in advance. So they come, they don't think about anything. They train and they go back home. That's the first, especially when you have like multiple personal trainings, like 1 hour after another. To optimize, the people need to warm up themselves. They need to be like self-disciplined of doing it. And then it's just more efficient for yourself as well. Those are the two main things. They warm up, the hours they come are fixed in advance. And ideally each day, each week, the same hour. So there's no changing. So everything is reserved. They come, warm up, train, and go back home or to work, wherever. So warming up, micro periodization, like choosing the weights for their training, and fixing their hours. Those are the three main things you need to do, because otherwise you're going to lose yourself in your kind of agenda, and it's going to be a huge mess. These are just three main things to optimize the fluidity of your personal trainings. And that's what you want as well, because then yourself are less stressed out. Because if you train someone and the guy is waiting in front of you, that stresses out as well. So that's not optimal as well, Yeah.
When it comes to, you talk about progression quite a bit. How do you progress a beginner, or how do you progress an advanced client or athlete, or is it pretty much the same? Can you talk about this a little bit?
Sure. I mean, there are foundational movements that I think each client should master. That can be a squat, deadlift, press overhead, military press, bench press, of course, pull-ups. Those movements are like the main goals. And progressing is quite simple for everyone, because it's like in school, everybody needs to have the first grade, then second grade, third grade to go on to the fourth grade. It's the same thing in strength training. That's like one of the mentors once, Wolfram Unzelt, he told me. He comes from Charles Poliquin. He's very, very known now in the world. And he said, like, basics first. Everybody goes through the basics in general. It doesn't matter if he's a high-level athlete, or he trains for a long time, or he just starts out. Because high-level athletes, in much cases, they need the basics much more than anyone else, for example. So basics are easy. Getting the posterior chain strong, getting their lower back strong and conditioned. If they've got injuries somewhere, of course, got to take a look at that, but a stronger upper back, getting them strong unilaterally on one leg, then going on to bilateral movements. And they need to progress as well in like tempo, like the speed of the movement, to get conscience, like what's happening. They should feel, everybody should feel like what's happening when I do this movement. If you do a biceps curl and you feel it somewhere down in your small toe, it doesn't work out, That's just the same thing. So basics are the same for everyone. And it depends on the level, how fast the basics will progress into dynamic movements or not. So getting everything stronger, getting a solid base. For a lot of people, it takes at least 2, 3, 4 months. And then when the base is there and they've been regularly with the training, then you can do some special stuff. You can go over to German body comp, fat loss, more into powerlifting if somebody wants to. Then you can maybe go into like Olympic weightlifting variations, like plyometric stuff, if the base is there, because then they're just more efficient, in my opinion. So basics are the same for everyone in general. everybody starts a little bit differently, but everybody needs to go through the first 2, 3, 4 grades to be able to progress even faster.